YouTube, this IQ Domino coming back at y'all with another motherfucking banger of a video. Not today. We're gonna be going over Psychology versus Andrew Tate debate on society and values. Alright, now this is the part one to it. We all know how Andrew Tate coming, you know what I'm saying, real chess master type shit. They call him, what they call him, the top G. Let's see how this shit go, man.
I'm not sure. My point back into that is, I think we've got to guess what's going live.
Yeah.
So let's have your opinions on this match.
How are you?
Andrew Lubna.
She geeking.
Hi.
Geeking.
Sorry, I got overexcited, didn't I? You caught me all excited. How are you?
Now we can go into this conversation more now. So I didn't want to tell them this is purely unplanned.
Yeah, we were actually
They don't
supposed to
know
meet
this.
today, but we couldn't get it all sorted. But we made it in the end. Praise be to God, we got it.
That's
in the
right.
end. We got it.
Fate.
As you walked in, we were just discussing how women tend to become OnlyFans. They push this agenda rather than the mother, the wife, the nice housewife, or a woman to become an engineer. Lugna was saying, I believe truly it's women's fault. They blame men, but women are giving them in. They're making it easy on them.
Can I say something? I really have a message to all the young girls out there. Okay, it's not about, let's not do the blame game because it's not going to do anything for anyone. It's you've got the power. Okay, this is your life. You've got the power. My mother always told me that the man is the head and the woman is the neck. You can be smart, you can be educated, don't waste your time, don't take away your power by just going on Instagram, being an influencer, not doing anything with your life. And don't play the victim, be nobody's victim. You know what I mean? That's that's my thought.
And I was a bit more, it's also the men's fault, because they invest in these.
It's always the men's fault, isn't it?
Wallah, I would say
Wallah. Doesn't mean it's the all truth, yeah.
It's a societal issue. If I'm a girl and if I'm a vulnerable 15-year-old girl with no money and I can either go to school and get a long education, or there's a guy that's going to pay for my flights and my rent, if I just post a thirst trap, you're speaking to vulnerable people, not just educated people in society.
Yes, but you have a choice. Do you die screaming like a little girl, or do you die with dignity?
Can I just
This is my thing though, baby. There's nothing wrong with either one. Let me tell you something about this world. We had a form of both since the beginning of time. The woman that is the most beautiful in the room has a lot of eyes on her. She grew up like that. Even when, you know what I'm saying, she was a little kid, they like, oh my God, this girl's fucking adorable. Her dad like, bitch, get back from my daughter, because he like, she's an angel to him just because she's beautiful. Versus a girl that's mid, and you know what I'm saying, she probably get attention every once in a while. Well, they all get attention, but the mid get less attention compared to a down. You know what I'm saying, at least like look wise, you know what I'm saying. So, but this would it come down to at the end, is that some people have certain morals that prevent them from doing it, and some people don't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how it goes. That's why I always say, don't really get, for the players, for the people that's in the lab, don't get mad at the woman for being, you know, whatever she is. You know what I'm saying? Don't get mad at that. However you wanna name it. If she a bop or whatever, don't get mad at her for that. If she a girl that like to go have fun every once in a while, don't get mad at her for that. If she a woman that don't go outside and she's just sits inside all day, don't get mad at her for that. You know what I'm saying? Accept people for who they are, you know? And this is where the really, I ain't gonna even just say dating, because this shit deeper than dating to me. It's like, if you accept people for who they are, you give yourself the opportunity to see what you really want to do with them. Because how I look at the world, this shit, the world either work with you or for you. You know what I'm saying? If you look at it from a mentality of, well, she this, that, and this, and that, and this, and so I ain't gonna, well, you what you doing is you kind of mitigating the possibility of what you can do with that situation if the situation really is for you. You feel me? So it's really how I look at it. You feel me? Like, don't really dismiss any side. I don't dismiss any side. If you want to be a quote-unquote hoe, if you want to be a bitch, if you want to be, you know, a good woman, you know, whatever. I don't really think they got no real, like, you know, the ideal good woman, which is okay. If this is the case, you feel me? Go for that. Do that. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with none of these types of women, you know, to me, in my eyes. I think this is where we get it misconstrued, is that we forget that, man. They got people with lineages of fucking bops. Like, her fucking mom was a bop. Her grandmother was a bop. Her mom was a bitch. Her grandmother was a bitch. Her grandmother controlled shit. You know, this woman been a good girl. She had a whole lineage where her fucking grandfather was telling her who she had to marry, and she just had a long lineage of dealing with that kind of shit. You never know what the situation is. There's so much into it. So I think people gotta. What I'm getting at is that everybody got their own trials and tribulations. You feel me? So let people live their life how they want to live it, and however the cookie crumble. If you like the cookie, chew that motherfucker. If you don't like the cookie, throw that motherfucker away. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's how I look at it.
To step to one thing, you made a good point about 5 minutes back. You did say you go to like Jordan, Israel, Afghanistan, or India, or some religion. The women are poor. They have nothing. Maybe no fathers have been killed. They have nothing. Yet you don't see them act that way.
But they have a different form of what.
You know, that's a
like
different
form of that. They marry, even if a guy's 20 years older than him, he's got they'll marry into him. And she's 15 years old because they're in survival mode. So I think what we're neglecting is if men stop investing in these girls, these OnlyFans girls, and start investing in the good girls, there's more motivation to be good. But if I was a 14-year-old in this day and age, I'd be like, I'm just going to work out and get a BBL and get a shortcut.
It's valid. It's a good point.
Thank you.
But society's degenerate. It's not men and women. Society's degenerate. It depends on what part of the world, of course, as well. But especially in the Western world, there are such benefits for degeneracy, and there's no stigma against it. There's none of the stigma. Even the things you're discussing and talking about, I agree with you completely. But a lot of these girls don't feel any shame. They don't feel any ounce of shame.
And it's a job. It's no different to a job. We've normalized it to the point where it just feels like a job for these women. And I think that when I was saying to them when I was younger and before, if you were known as, in my culture, Pakistani, you grew up in Luton, if I even walked into a restaurant with a boy, it would be like, oh my God, she's such a slag. Like straight away I'd get a label and I wouldn't be able to get married. But now these girls are getting married to rappers. They're having kids with rappers. A stripper is getting married. So what motivation is left for young women when men are dropping their standards in terms of promiscuity? They don't mind a promiscuous woman anymore.
I don't think men are ever going to stop wanting to see bikini pictures. You know what I mean? It's not going to change. That's why I'm saying it's up to us. Like I'm saying, we really need to make the effort because we are the mothers.
Baby, let me go ahead. I feel like everything she said, it's like so biased. Baby, when it comes down to that, you got a good ass point, but alright, like it depends on the person. You know what I'm saying? It's both sides with it come down to the fucking around and dating shit in my eyes. But motherfucker, if I see a woman, she look good, listen, I may or may not fuck with her depending on how she really moving for real. She can look good as fuck to me. She looks so good. And she's loud. And she talks out of pocket to everybody around her in that vicinity. Or her little friend group. Bro, I'm not about to try to get at her. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna try to get at her. But they got another nigga who gonna see that and be like, oh yeah, that's a bad bitch, I want her. You know, it's got different people. So, I don't know. I think social media kind of blinds people to reality a little bit. Because the regular dude, like the regular everyday dude, or most dudes, like people who are rappers, people who are like in position or influencers and things like that, that's like a different side of the community. You know what I'm saying? That's like another side of the community. Most guys, are okay with like, I ain't gonna say just one, but a good woman. You know what I'm saying? Having a good woman. In my eyes. So, from my personal experience, I see a lot of guys, and don't just say it's just our generation. For the viewers as well, don't say it's just our generation, because this shit been going on, where there are guys that are like super, super soft. They're soft as fuck. And they're okay with their woman chilling with just one, you know what I'm saying? Chilling with their woman, chilling with other guys. Like, so it's like, there are different people out here. They got another guy who might like, nah, bro, I gotta have 5, and all of them gotta be alright. They got a problem with me, but fuck them. I don't give a fuck if I got kids. Fuck them, I ain't dealing with them no more. They got different kind of guys. Just like they got different types of women, you know what I'm saying? So, it's never really, in my eyes, you kind of only got to start talk from your stigma, because if you talk from your stigma, I understand you talking about, she talking to the broad variety of her audience, but it's like, and it's a part 1, and it's only 3 minutes in, but it's like, it's better to really say, okay, for this type of woman, this is what it look like. You know what I'm saying? Rather than saying every woman should be like this, because it's not gonna ever happen. It's not. We living in a dream world.
You know what I mean? I just feel like we're taking away from our power. And I agree with you in what you're saying, because yes, a lot of girls don't have opportunities, X and Y. That's why I think it's all about education.
Yeah.
You know, you find a lot of wrong things going on in society, mostly in the poorer areas as well. So it is really all about education, I think.
Yeah, but I do think that's a privilege.
I think
Not
this.
the world
I think the
has
term is like
access.
Andrew's mentioned before on podcast. Godless.
Godless.
Godless society.
There's a huge split. What we're
Yeah.
discussing here is not universal across the planet, right?
Yeah.
The things we're discussing here, the idea of women, like you're saying, having a reputation and promiscuity being frowned upon, all those things make perfect sense here. The idea of a woman sticking to education and not getting a bad reputation and working hard, that makes sense here. But in Miami, it's godless. It's completely, it's a godless city.
If I don't believe in God, praise be to God, I do. But if I don't have the idea that God's watching me, what motivation as a young girl with a great body and great looks would I have to go the long route to getting success when there's a man willing to pay me 2-3 grand just for a feet pick?
But I think
You know, so why don't we address the men in not being?
But are we all
giving
going to
into
be
you
sheep?
women?
Like, for example, and a lot of people say he has money. He has it all. Why would you become Muslim when you have everything? Why would he want to limit himself in a way? So surely God's given us brains or ways to think. What is life about? What's the
It's not
purpose?
just God watching, but it's not just as God watching. Oh, I'm gonna go to hell. You know what I mean? I think it goes beyond that. I mean, you still have a brain. God created you with a brain. You should.
They're like they talking like everybody is meant to be elite level human beings. The world is not built for everybody to be an elite level human beings. This is not the world for that. People get consumed by this world. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, and everybody get consumed by the ideology of the world, you gotta sit down and you gotta think like, well, damn, how many people are gonna really make it? And then it's like, well, you look at the success of anything, only 10% of the people are successful in anything, in any avenue. Some lower than that. And then y'all talking about everybody living through this moral standard. Like, y'all gotta understand, like, there's a great amount of benefits of living through that moral standard, where you have self-control, where you have discipline, where you have ambition, where you have a real purpose of your meaning of your life. But you gotta realize that some people really are surface level individuals. We see them every fucking day. We see surface level. If you listen to some music, you'll be like, man, this music really ain't. It ain't even connecting to that. This motherfucker just saying a bunch of words. Like, and that kind of music blows the fuck up. That kind of music blows up all the time. So, if you really look at it like, this is what the world we live in. So they got some people that's going to be lustful. They got some people who's going to be ignorant. They got some people who's going to be fat. They got some people who's going to be unpurposeful. They got some people who just surface level with everything they do. And they're going to have some people who just a completely full-blown elite level discipline. This is the world we live in. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I really look at it, bro.
Still have principles without that. But I think even when it comes to, yes, education is a privilege, but nowadays the real influence is on social media. And any kid in Gaza, there's an amazing rapper in Gaza, God bless him, like, he's on social media, he's an influencer, you know what I mean? Even if a kid in Gaza has access to social media, then we can have influence. That's why we need more women role models.
Yeah, definitely need that.
And then the influencers will also become less and less, because girls will see, well, you know what, I do have another.
They won't. They won't. The thing about being an influencer that I've learned from being an influencer is that you have 24 hours in a day. If I spend, let's say I spend 1 hour making this video. I spent 1 hour making this video. I'm going to take at least 500 people's time from their day to watch me. 10 minutes of their time. I take 1 hour from everybody. 500 people, they gonna watch it. Half of those people are really gonna get connected to who I am. So in that case, and some people still gonna get entertained by it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you're really looking at it like that, it's a different fucking perspective from saying just not everybody. I'm telling y'all, like, it seems like she wants to live in a perfect world. You know what I'm saying? Like what Andrew Tate said. In Miami, right? There are people that are godless. They don't give a fuck about God. They don't think about no type of sin. They don't think about no type of purpose. They don't think about none of that. They don't have no real moral code. I ain't gonna just make it just biblical. I'm just gonna say an overall moral code. They don't have it. So if they listen to somebody on the internet that automatically looks at them for who they are right now, which is an easy route to say, look at you for who you are right now and say, you are exactly who you need to be, and you need to go ahead and you actually need to go further. That stuff that you say you scared to do and you feel ashamed, you should do it anyway. She's gonna want to do that shit more because it feels better doing that versus saying you ain't supposed to do this and you ain't supposed to do that and you ain't supposed to do this. She gonna be like, well, damn, I need to change who I am, and she gonna go through that depression stage of having to change who she is. Not everybody is built for that. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody is built for that shit. So in the perfect world, yes, what she's saying is the perfect saying. Everybody should just do better, and men should stop paying. But men gonna keep on dropping that bag, especially the ones who don't have no life and all they do is grind. That's all they do is grind. But they gonna drop a bag on a woman. They gonna drop a quick bag. They gonna drop a quick little 2-3 on a woman. Easy. Some niggas drop more than that. Dude, I literally heard Lil Yachty dropped 15 bands on 2 women that he didn't even sleep with. He didn't even kiss. None. Like, he talked to them on the phone. He dropped 15 bands. This is the world we live in. You telling me, I'm gonna keep it a buck. If all I gotta do is talk on the phone with somebody and get 15 bands, you best believe I'm gonna talk on the phone with somebody and get 15 bands. Come on, bro. Can I get this bag? It costs $15,000? Yeah, I got you. What? I don't even put it past. I don't even be putting it past women like that be doing that shit. Like, if a nigga offer that, I do not put it past a woman. I don't, because I know the game. I know that some dudes pay money to try to feel like they got power over somebody. I'm telling y'all, bro. I know how this world is. So if you get, sometimes tricks get tricked. That's how they become professional tricks.
Their chance. I do have another option.
Yeah.
But it says I think the broader question is, I'd like to ask you two very intelligent ladies, why do you think society is trying to program women to act this way? Because I believe society is trying to, especially in the West, it's trying very hard. We're talking about the advantages of a girl doing OnlyFans, for example. Yes, her life can improve. But the broader question is, why is all the culture, all of society, the matrix as a whole, trying to destroy the baseline morality of humans, men and women? Because they're trying to convince men not to be men. Everything that was traditionally masculine, everything I've said has got me canceled. They tried to ruin my life for saying a man should be a man. And if you say a woman should be a woman and she should protect herself and protect her access to herself, and she should not allow men to just view her naked, etc., then you're somehow demonized. And they want to put Cardi B in place instead, where she's saying that everything that a woman can get naked, and that's fantastic, and anyone who disagrees with it is it slut shaming? Is that called a thing?
Shaming.
So why is society doing this to men and women? That's the real question.
Well, I think if you're breaking down the home, the best and quickest way to do that is attacking the woman. And there's more money in lonely, sad women. We consume everything. So if I get to a certain age and I'm not married, I'm going to be more likely to be on prescription drugs. I'm going to be more likely to turn to surgery. I'm going to be more likely to just indulge. Whereas when you have a purpose, those things all take a back burner. So that's why I think it's completely designed to make more money and to destroy the home and make people dependent on, then your God becomes social media. When you don't have a God and you don't have a stable home, your God becomes society. The laws determine your morality, and the quicker they can get you to believe that God doesn't exist and the law is your source of morality, the quicker they can control you.
I think there's definitely an agenda for sure. Absolutely, 100%. But I think the only way to fight it is to stick to, to have discipline, to not follow, like last year I made a decision.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all. I am a conspiracy theorist to a certain extent. People be saying they, but I'm just a strong believer that people just gonna always choose to do wrong because it feels better to do. The influence comes from when shit feels good to do it and it looks good to do it. It's going to have more of an influence because it's not common. in actual society, that kind of shit is not common. It's not. So whenever you see a guy with multiple women, it's more entertaining for a guy to be like, man, I want to be like him. He a player. If a woman got hella men surrounded by her, and if a woman got some hella guys surrounded by her, they handing her money, and they praising her, that, oh my God, I want to be you. Oh my God, all the guys looking at her when she walk in the room. Most of those women are going to want to be her, like her. If not, you know what I'm saying, similar to her, rather than the woman that's quiet, out the way with her husband on his hip. Like, that's because it's so less common. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be more influential. Where in society now, it's like, it seemed like, oh, don't keep in mind, those women have always been the most influential. They have always been the most influential. It has not changed. Because if we talk about the nail shop, the hair salon, the what that shit is, they get the massages and the rocks on their back and shit, the fucking spa. Those are usually ran by like bitches. Trust me, I know. They're ran by like real life bitches. Not saying nothing against bitches, you know what I'm saying? I love some bitches. But those women usually know how to run men. And they give those women in those areas gems. You know what I'm saying? To how to have a better relationship for themselves. Players are usually barbers, usually fucking athletes. Well, not all the time. I ain't gonna lie, not all the time athletes, man. But they be some real suckers. But my whole thing is this: is that they have always been the most influential people. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's just how it is, bro.
And I went on my Instagram. I was like, okay, I myself am following some influencers. So I was like, unfollow.
Yeah.
Just be more aware of your lifestyle and your surroundings and your friends and what you're consuming on Netflix. You know what I mean?
Do you guys follow girls on Instagram?
No, they fixed that for me.
No,
By deleting me from the platform.
Do you have it? He only has MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace.com. That's what I
Honestly,
Bringing back
tell
my-
me,
I only
used to
follow my
her.
wife.
Oh.
Yeah, and actually Lubna now because with the podcast and probably you, I think.
Yeah.
And that's from work relation.
Yeah,
And you can tell.
yeah.
It's nothing more than that. And it's
Did you
business.
when you first came on social media?
I never have.
No?
You would have never seen me ever follow FHM girls. It's that never.
Really? You just used to go straight to the message?
No. I'm a Muslim. I practice my religion to the extent that I can, and for me, even if you were to do sins, I think I'd be ashamed to be public about it.
Yeah, exactly.
As I'm like, you'd be ashamed. Everything's for privacy. These women, like you said, they're proud of showing booty. A man men have always been okay, like you said, through society. Like our dads came as freshies on the boats to the UK, saw a white girl, blonde hair. They probably perved into strip clubs, but it wasn't you don't share it. It's just like a thing you do. But women now, making it a public thing is like we're celebrating porn in a way which was out, like it was seen as shameful only a few years ago. So that's what's.
Well, yeah, I don't want to take responsibility away from men, but women have always been the gatekeepers. Men have always been men. I think if you look at any period of history in any part of the world, no matter what the culture, if men had unlimited access to sex, they'd take it. I think it's biological for men to be that way and try and reproduce as many women as possible. I think that women have always been the gatekeepers. They've always been the ones who are saying no. And if women break down the gates and no longer say no, then they're going to have promiscuous societies in godless cities like Miami, like I just described. And I agree with you in terms of them deliberately trying to destroy the family home. They are doing that. Part of it's for consumerism because they want consumerism to be our gods. That's absolutely part of it. But another reason is I think a lot of the plans that people have who are in charge of the world across the next 100 years are truly draconian and they're truly evil. And the things they're going to plan to do to people and the lives we're going to be forced to live. And if you destroy the family unit, if you destroy the idea of standing up, the problem is if a man has a family, he'll die for it. If a man's woman doesn't listen to him, his kids he doesn't talk to, when they come along with these draconian rules and bullshit, you're kind of like, oh, whatever. I'll just move. I'll just move country, or I'll just leave it, or I don't care, right? They're trying to destroy the resistance and the resilience amongst the population so they can make slaves of us all. And I think that the family unit is a big part of that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie though, like, what I have really noticed in the YouTube community, and this is the reason why I really started YouTube, because I'm like, bro, I got a place to stand in YouTube. They got a lot of men on YouTube that are like grown ass men and they act like children. They act like children. They got a lot of guys who are on YouTube and they act like men, but they are like, they have no real moral standards, like, at all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just being honest. Like, if you sit down and you think about, like, a lot of these 20v1s, like, it's kind of normal now. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with it, but it just is what it is. Which is, they got a lot of guys who really don't go for the good girls no more. Like, they do not want a good girl. Like, I remember I still remember this fucking clip. She was like, I go to church, I talk to God every day, I pray. He was like, oh no, like, he looked like he was scared of her. Like, he looked like he was like, and she was pretty, I would say. She was tough. And he was like, nah, I can't do that. Man, what? So it's like our society is not really promoting, like, this type of shit that I talk about. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I talk about women, I talk about fucking with women, fucking with hoes, I talk about all that shit. I talk about fucking with good women too. I talk about all that shit. But it's like, if you really look at the overall thing of it, it's like, it's kind of how it's somewhat supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes down to a man going for what he wants. It's supposed to be like that, especially when you're single. But it's an end goal. Like, I don't think niggas got an end goal out here no more, for real. I think niggas be out here really wilding for the sake of wilding. Like, forgetting, like, they like, put it like this. For the people that's in the lab, y'all know that I like real team players. I'm not even the type of nigga who like to just fuck with hoes, just because I can. I'm not that guy. But there might be occasions where I'll be like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? There might be occasions where I'll be like, fuck it. But for the most part, I'm not that guy. So I have women that I talk to that I somewhat see me taking them serious. If it lasts for a long period, like, if it lasts for like longer than 5-6 months, it's a chance. It's like, damn, baby, I might really take you serious for real. Like, I can see me really taking you serious, cause I really talked to her for that long, and because for me to talk to her that long, she has to be to show me a bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? She has to be to show me all the things that I want. I don't think guys nowadays, I don't think they really look for that. I think they really be trying to fuck, and that's it. Not saying nothing wrong with that, but that's our society. So when you got a bunch of women that are hoes and a bunch of women that are bitches, this is kind of like the playing field where it's like, it's kind of, I ain't gonna say it's hard, but it's kind of, I can see how it could be challenging. It's not hard to me, but I could see how it could be like a situation where a bunch of dudes who don't act like men and they still paying for it. Like, they still getting it. They still paying for it. And if they not men, if they ain't got that, like, sense of moral code in them, which most guys don't. Even the guys who say they have a moral code, they don't. They don't. They just be lying to themselves. Like, that's one thing a lot of guys do. A lot of themselves for the sake of saying, bro, I literally experienced, like, dudes that I've talked to since I've been doing this shit, I really have noticed that a lot of guys be lying to themselves, especially the dudes who be claiming they be religious. The motherfuckers don't even be religious. They literally play the whole game. They just literally, some goons, they just so lame, so corny, so much of a fucking goofball that they be lying to themselves for the sake of not being able to get no women. And that's what the society we moving towards now, where it's a bunch of guys like that. It's not just one guy like that no more. You know what I'm saying? It used to be, oh, maybe you run into him. I feel like it used to be. But the truth is, I don't know. But I do know this. You got a point with the good women are the gatekeepers, but to be honest, bro, nowadays, I have yet to run into a woman that was like, listen, you ain't about to get this. They met me in real life. Now, on the phone, I talk them down, they get a lit, you know what I'm saying? In real life, no. Instagram, yeah, they talk that shit. Hey, some of them talk that shit. Phone, some of them might talk that shit. Some of them, they might. In real life, no. Stop. Stop. I have yet to run into one of them. And they actually was like that the whole time. No. Nah, I'll be honest, I never ran into one of those in real life. Ever. So, I really think that it's a combination of the rarity. You know what I'm saying? Of the rarity of a man, and the fact that it's abundance of niggas who ain't gotta even be men to get pussy. They ain't gotta be no fucking man. What I mean when you're a man, when you got principles, when you got standards, when you got a code you live by, when you got direction, when you got a purpose, you are a man, fella. You are a man, my guy. You are a man. I don't give a fuck how the world look at you. If you got all those things, you are a fucking man. You ain't even gotta be moving in that right direction right now. If you have principles, if you have codes, if you have a sense of purpose, and you live by that in some form of fashion every single day, you are a man. You are a man. You have unified yourself in some form of fashion. You are a man. You hold yourself to that standard. You are a fucking man. They ain't that many of those out here. Really, some of them ain't got no codes. Some of these niggas ain't got no standards. You know what I'm saying? So this society is not, as a whole, is not really on that no more. So you really gotta just accept it for what it is. I ain't gonna care. That's the best way. The only thing you can do is influence in your own way. Influence in the best way you can see fit, in the best way you see fit. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, that's right.
Woman is the best way to do it.
Well, absolutely, because if you have a woman who's truly ride or die, truly by your side, and kids who truly love you, you're going to stand on that porch with a shotgun and say, no, you're not coming in this house. But when you don't have that, it gets to a point where it's like, not my fight, not my problem. And it actually extrapolates, not just from the family unit, it goes bigger and bigger. This is the reason why in Western societies, nobody knows each other. Nobody likes each other. If you live in a street in England, you don't know anyone. You don't know. You can live there your whole life. You don't talk to nobody. And then even if you do start to meet people, you don't like, he's that color, don't like him. He's from there, don't like him. He likes that kind of car, don't like him. Nobody likes each other. Society is completely degraded. There's no baseline morality. There's no unifying factor. There's absolutely nothing. And what happens is as soon as the law breaks down, if you look at even in America when there's natural disaster, as soon as the law is gone, as soon as the police can't turn up, it becomes... They start shooting at each other. It's a free-for-all, right?
We saw in Seattle, didn't we? After the BLM whole
we saw after Hurricane Katrina, they're shooting at the cops and all this stuff.
They took over like a courthouse in Seattle. It was just like lawlessness.
So they destroy the family unit to destroy the town, to build these societies where everybody's innately selfish. You may be scared of the law, so you behave a little bit, but everybody's absolutely innately selfish. So when they come along with complete insanity, draconian laws, where they say, because of the common cold, you're not allowed to leave your house, for example, we're going to put you out of business, and they wreck you.
Common cold.
Everyone sits at home and doesn't do shit.
And follows,
everyone's like, oh, well, not my problem, none of it. But when you actually care about your family, you care about your community, you care about your town, and it becomes much harder to control people because the globalists and their agenda is to make slaves of us all. That's what they're trying to do. And it's hard to make a slave of a man who has a family and believes in protecting his family. It's
but
difficult.
if 2020 taught us anything, they can easily do it. There's so many sheep in the world. Can I say that?
I was,
you can say what you want.
I was so disappointed.
Do you know what I realized from that? For years, I used to think, how did the whole...
Alright, man, that's the end of that video, man.
We're talking about the...
That's the end of that video, man. If you like this video, leave a like down below and subscribe because I drop bangers like this all the time. And I'm going to see y'all when I see y'all, man. Hey, man, get this to like 20 likes if y'all want a part 2. Peace.